Hello and welcome. It is January 12th, 1942, in our continuing struggle against the Empire of Japan. We've had a busy few turns with the invasion forces in the Dutch East Indies, and we'll see what happens this turn. Looks like one of my Dutch subs tries to put some torpedoes into this task force moving north, but takes a hit with the depth charge for its troubles. 4 of my French destroyers I sent up to Rabaul.
Hello, you fighting orphans of the Pacific. This is your favorite enemy, Orphan Anne, at Radio Tokyo, with music to lift your spirits and words to depress your morale. But first, Imperial General Headquarters announced today that the Imperial Navy has achieved another great victory near Rabaul, with the sinking of 2 carriers, a battleship, and numerous cruisers and destroyers.
So, just to let that Japanese propaganda play out, but I had sent these 4 fast French destroyers to Rabaul to bombard, and it looks like they caught a subchaser, so that's great news. And they do the bombardment as well. Destroyers don't do a huge amount on bombardment, but I wanted to see what they could find there. It was almost recon by bombardment, because my recon planes at Port Moresby don't have the range yet to fly over Rabaul. So we have some Bettys, Mavises, Vals, and Zeros there, and the destroyers do a decent job of beating up that airfield, so good job, destroyers. Invasion support off of Minato. And we're into the AM air phase, starting off with these sweeps. Large sweep going in on Rangoon. It's probably going to be pretty costly for me. Zeros and Oscars are going to tear my planes up a little bit. Two to 3, I lose 3, he loses 2. Not the best result, but could be worse. And 23 Oscars, this might be a little bit more painful. Yeah, he loses 1 Oscar, I lose 3 planes. Not sustainable. I'm hoping that I can start sweeping Bangkok and start reducing the numbers of the fighters there. Let's see. Oh, and here we have that sweep. It only has 1 Oscar on cap, and my P-38Es destroy easily. The problem is now, though, so he doesn't have much cap above the Hex. I can sweep his cap away with my Lightnings, but it's so early in the war still that I don't have bombers that have the range that can reach from Rangoon to Bangkok. I mean, I have some 4-engined B-17s and some Liberators down at Sorayaba right now, but I don't have anything in the Burma theater with that kind of range right now. Everything I have caps out around 8 hexes or so. So I have transferred some longer range bombers from the United States East Coast. They're on their way to Cape Town, and once I get to Cape Town, I'll move them up to Burma, where they'll be able to get in the fight and help me suppress these bases. More sweeping. All the sweeps. Tending to attack Manila. What's interesting to me is he has troops at Manila, he has troops at Clarkfield. He's not attacked in either of those X's yet. He's just content to bomb, and I mean, it suppresses these hexes. I can't attack either. I can't really move out, but it's tying up his AV too. So the longer he has them in the Philippines, the longer he can't use those units to make conquests other places. So, not sure how I feel about that strategy he's using there. large bombing raid on Cyan. Doing only moderate damage. Bombing at Qingchaoan. And still sweeping Bangkok. Catalina's flying from Cebu, try to go after this invasion task force, get picked off. That hurts to see. This next turn, I have a disbanded surface task force here at Tiliabo, and they're going to be heading to Manado to see if they can't get in among this invasion task force and cause some havoc. It's a pretty light, outdated Dutch surface task force, though, so I'm not sure if they'll do much damage. And I'm only doing this now because it looks like most of his other task forces have now left. They've headed back to, it looks like, Babel Doab, or up north here. So he doesn't have those big surface task forces that I had to worry about before. We'll see if it works. Catalina's don't lose any, but get fended off by the zeros. More sweeps. And bombing on Guam. Just gonna speed through all this bombing unless something interesting happens. There's another Catalina there. These Catalina flying boats at Cebu, they're definitely going to be set back to naval search next turn. They don't need to be throwing themselves against this carrier task force like this. Just a waste of planes. More Bettys. So not as an exciting turn, it looks like, as I hoped it would be. Just because he has moved all of those task forces out of the... Okay, so what's going on here? It looks like we have some ground bombing going on. This is a clear hex at Samarinda, so I was hoping to do some damage to his forces here that are contesting the hex. Unfortunately, it looks like he's running some cap. He's probably running that cap out of Muri at long-range cap. It's a long way to fly, but it's definitely doable. I did not expect that. I did not expect that amount of zeros there, and I lose a B-17 for my trouble. I do disrupt several squads though. Take out a couple of my B-33-9Ds, trying to escort those bombers in. The bombers don't even make contact, and they turn away there too. This Liberator makes contact, but I lose another B-33-9D for my trouble, and very minor damage there to his units. 7 B-17s, looks like all 7 make their way to the target, but I take some damage. I do destroy a combat squad in that bombing run. So not quite the effect that I wanted to have with those 4-engine bombers. I had hoped that was more devastating than it was. It looks like we're into the evening bombardment phase and onto the ground phase. So deliberate attack Manado, this is going to get wiped out pretty easily, and it does. Both of those units completely destroyed. Deliberate attack in this rough terrain south of Cyan. He's brought, looks like, about 2,000 AV or more to the fight. More than that, maybe 2,500. I think I had about 1,200 or so here. Yeah, 1,200 versus 3,000. But that terrain helps me get 1-to-1 odds. Still, I take disproportionate losses. 12 destroyed, 286 disabled combat squads compared to 7 and 162. So not the results I was hoping for, but still, getting 1-to-1 odds when he outnumbers me 3-to-1 isn't the worst thing either. I'm hoping that my forces will retreat to Cyan and hole up there, so when he makes that push, I'll have them in the hex to help defend. We'll see. Yeah, this Chinese corps super beat up already, and I'm surprised it's not absolutely destroyed. 167 squads get wrecked, and this group of about 1,000 AV continues its push to Cyan this way. So he's coming this way to Cyan, he's coming this way to Cyan, and then he has a group that looks like it's coming this way to Lancao. Cyan right now has about 2,000 AV and level, I believe, 4 forts. I want to get some more forts and some more AV before he comes calling. We'll see if I can do it. And a deliberate attack at Ambon. They reduce fortifications to 0, and he takes a little bit more in casualties. I take more destroyed squads, so my ability to fight is probably more impacted than his is. Ambon will probably not last too much longer. We'll see. And he bombards at Guam, destroying 3 of my squads with that bombardment. I think this is what he needs to do here. He needs to bombard for a long time with the artillery that he's brought, let his infantry rest for 3 or 4 more turns, recover those disablements, and only then attack. But I won't tell him that. Looks like I am bombard at Ambon to no result, and at Samarinda to no result as well. And that's it for the turn. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the Discord. Thank you.